Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
Welcome. Good morning. We're here to talk and bring some civil discourse to an otherwise discordant world. I'm all right. How you?
I just had my first sip of coffee.
Yeah.
It was quite tasty.
Right? Yeah, no. Early Tuesday morning, we've been recovering from this weekend, and last night, I think around 10:30, I was like, we were supposed to record.
I was dozing off at like 4:45, so.
So here we are, coming to you live on Tuesday morning.
This will be recorded and up all on the same day.
Yep, and here we go. We do have 3 simple rules for the sake of civility on this podcast. No judgment, nothing personal, and don't be a dick. We spent this weekend coming up with t-shirt ideas for this shit. And I think that "Don't Be a Dick" t-shirt that's gonna have to come out at some point.
It's gonna be right up there with the boob print.
Yeah,
we're gonna take
I've got a lot of boobs to print. I've got a lot of boob prints. I got my first international order yesterday. I'm super excited. My tits have gone Well, no, my tits have been international. But now they're going.
I don't know how I feel about that.
We're going worldwide.
They've been all over the world.
They've been all over the world. It's so great. It's exciting. This weekend was fun. We did the New York Blood and Ink Tattoo and Horror Convention this weekend in White Plains, and it was awesome. It was a calm weekend, all things considered.
I mean, you had said that it had been busier in years past, and this one kind of...
It had. And I think, we were talking to, the organizers and friends of ours and everything, and just, they had 3 floors. I mean, if we were able to get everything on one floor, I think we would have kept the people all... Contained.
Yeah.
And but it was a good time. It was a good time. And it was nice to see friends again after so long, because this was the first one they did in 5 years. And it was wild.
Oh, it was the first one in 5 years.
Oh, yeah. No, we haven't done this since COVID.
Since before COVID.
Yeah, since 2019 was the last one. September 2019.
So they didn't bring it back in like 22 or 3. Nope. Oh, wow.
Nope.
Because we probably would have done it if they had.
Fuck yeah. And we'll do it again next year. But this was so much fun. And Sadie was with us the whole time, keeping us grounded and enjoying the fact that she was the belle of the fucking ball the whole weekend. I mean, people came back just to be like, we heard there's a dog over here. And and she was
Bam Margera was excited that there was a dog over
there.
Bam
Margera and my dog are now BFFs, I think. Because he's doing pro photo ops and in photos, you can see he's just staring at the dog the whole time. It was adorable. My sister actually just texted me. She's like, you guys are like the coolest now. I'm like, no, she's the coolest. Because now she's Biffles. She's Biffles with Bam.
Because him and his wife were more excited to see her than anybody else that was there.
Yeah, it certainly seemed that way.
I wonder if they played with any... Because there was at least one...
There were a couple
Or were there 2
dogs.
more dogs, yeah.
There was the one who came by on day 2. I don't think she was there day 1. But she came by day 2, and then there were a couple of small dogs that would come through every once in a while. Like someone was carrying a dog in a backpack. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
you had a very interesting conversation with the new Mrs. Margera about rescues and
yeah, whatnot. No, oh god, she's so sweet. She's so sweet and so chill. And we were talking about older dogs and everything, and she was recommending going holistic with sort of vet care and everything. And Sadie's been doing arthritis injections, which have really been helping her for just the last couple of months. But I wonder about trying to find like a Reiki specialist for Sadie and everything, just to get her a little bit more chillaxed and everything. She's actually got her injections on Thursday morning, so that's gonna be good to get her, because she hasn't had them since before Halloween. So when we went to Lake George and she was hopping up and down on a 4-foot bed, she's doing 4-foot jumps from a dead standstill. But it was such a fun time, and they were lovely people. There were a lot of lovely people there. And we were really excited to get to meet people, I think, this weekend. But were we starstruck? Were you starstruck?
Absolutely.
Were you?
100%.
Yeah?
like 13-year-old me was inside jumping off the walls because of like,
Yeah.
I had said to you on the ride up, because it was John's birthday, and when I was a kid, I had stolen his VHS copy of CKY2K, and I'm like...
He's in the attic right now.
Probably, yeah. And I'm just like, if I... Not meet, because, like, you could go up to the table and pay or whatever and do the photo op. But
Right.
if I casually run into him,
Yeah.
it's going to be John's doing. That was my belief going up there. And sure as shit... Because I went up to his panel where, you know, everyone's sitting and asking questions and whatnot. And I asked him a question and, you know, he made me laugh and it was cool. But then right before he left, because I was nodding off at the end of the night, I'm like, shit, we still got 3 hours to go. I have to fucking stay awake. So I go over to get a cup of coffee. And as I turn the corner with coffee in hand, there he is. There he is!
Spilled it all over him.
No. And I said to him, I was like, are you gonna be walking the floor at all? And he's like, oh, we'll be here all day tomorrow. I was like, okay, cool, because I said that, you know, you had hand painted skate decks that I would love for him to check out.
Yeah.
He's like, and he's always smiling.
Always like,
you know.
literally never not has a smile on his face.
And the thing is, I think I mentioned this to you, but like when he's not in front of an audience, he is not on. Like, he's not the character that you see on television.
No, he's a real boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool meeting him and his wife. They were such nice people, you know? And I mean, what do you think qualifies as being starstruck? Like, what is your reaction to that? Because you were over the moon. You were over the moon because you had met this person who, you know, had entertained you for 20 years.
If it's somebody that I had only previously seen on a screen, in my formative years, then and they had that much of an impact on you know, my interests and my, you know, what I've grown into. Like, I was just as starstruck when I met Zakk Wylde last year, because I showed you when I got home from the concert. I still have my first issue of Musician's Friend catalog with him on the front, and I always thought, like, oh, I'd love to have one of those guitars that he plays with the bullseye on the front, and, you know, he's played for Ozzy for so many years, and he's, you know, co-written some of the greatest songs, and it's just like, you know, same thing with Bam. Bam, I've watched... Take Viva La Bam and Jackass out of it, okay? Because a lot of people who came to know him at that point don't know about what he did before that. They don't know how he dropped out of school in 10th grade so he and his friends could make skate videos and do skits and stuff before Jackass, because a lot of the first season of Jackass, what people don't know, is stuff that he contributed. Like, he just gave them footage from his homemade movies to air on TV.
That's cool.
So
that's really cool.
So if you were like an underground skate rat, like most of us back in the early 2000s, like you knew about all the stuff that he was doing. And I said to him, I go, I have to thank you for my love of Scandinavian music, you know, rock and roll and whatnot, because it's thanks to those movies that you made and the promoting you did of so many, at least at that time, unknown bands. And I'm not just talking about him and the 69 Eyes, because that's what he's most known for, but Children of Bodom, Turbo Negro, Veins of Jenna, like all these obscure, you know, rock bands from the top of the planet that most people had never heard of until he put them on his TV show and in his videos and his skate demos and things like that. And it wasn't even just the fact that I started listening to them or liked them because he liked them. It's, they put out good stuff. That stuck with me and made me want to, you know, start digging up their entire catalogs.
Yeah. Yeah. I never watched Jackass. I really, like, I remember I'd be watching, you know, MTV, and as soon as that disclaimer came on at the top of it, I would be like, click. I did not watch Jackass. Viva La Bam, on the other hand, I thought was fucking amazing. And I still do. I still think that, you know, it's like when I want to laugh my ass off, I will watch that.
Vito, do you want the soup du jour or the soup of the day? It's the same fucking thing.
Bruce. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. And it was cool when I saw that they announced that Bam was going to be, you know, a guest at this convention. I was like, oh my God, I make skate decks. That's so cool. Wouldn't it be amazing if Bam saw my skate decks and, you were floating around with them and everything, and
I saw him so many times, and I the whole time I really wanted to hug him. I wanted to just put my arm and be like, I'm so glad you're still here, because so many people have said, like, we thought we were going to lose you for a good long while, because he was pretty self-destructive. But then it begs the question in the back of your mind. It's like, is he doing this to stay relevant, or is this something he's like really going through? And it's just like, and he talked at length about it at the panel. He was talking about the Florida Shuffle, which, actually echoes something that I've been saying for a while. He was saying that, they send you around from treatment center to treatment center when your insurance runs out, because they know you have good insurance and they want to keep milking you for all it's worth. And he's, he was saying, I spent $260,000 here, $260,000 there. And it's just like, well, they all know who he is. They all know he's got money. Mm-hmm. So let's, cash in for all he's worth. Yeah. And that's a really shitty thing, because at the end of the day,
it's very shitty.
He's a human being. He means a lot to a lot of people, and that's a really shitty thing to do to somebody.
And he was a really cool dude. He is a really cool dude.
Just to see him sitting on the floor playing with her, like
that touched my heart so hard. Just watching.
Like, I wish he would have just stuck around and I could have watched that all day. Like, I don't need to see you doing crazy stuff. Just play with our dog.
She would have been fine with it too. She was like, yes. She just walked right over to him and was like, hello. And he just got on the floor immediately and just gave her all the scratches. We have pictures. There's proof. It was wonderful.
I sent him and Danny both messages on Instagram thanking them for that.
Yeah.
Whether they see them, they'll probably never see them, but, I think he even said he doesn't monitor his own Instagram, but
yeah.
But that was so, like...
That was cool.
If you had told me in 2001, like...
Yeah.
20-something years from now, this guy's going to be playing with your dog.
I have been... this is going to sound really, really lame, but I've been around a lot of celebrities.
That's awesome.
I have, in fact, been around a lot of celebrities.
I've been around a lot of celebrities.
And I typically do not get starstruck. Like, people are just people to me.
All right.
I had a moment.
You had some encounters.
I did have some encounters.
I'm curious to see which one is at the top of your list here.
I have to say that this weekend, because it was so calm, I felt comfortable, because normally I do not feel comfortable leaving my table at all. I have to be there to sell, and talk to people and everything, and be like, hey, look at my shit, kind of thing. But because it was calm, and because I have you, I was able to, wander around and everything. And I wandered downstairs where they had all of the celebrities' tables and everything. And it was so calm, and, people are sitting there with no lines and everything. And I'm just like, okay. And I met Kathy Najimy. And, I mean, you talk about someone who this woman has been on my screens for 30 years now. And she is so beautiful and so just inside and out. And she's Peggy Hill.
It's so nice to see these people in the flesh.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, the woman is so, and she's done a lot as far as being like an icon for, marginalized groups, and for, advocating for women, for witches, for queer community and everything. And I'm just like, and she's Peggy Hill. I fucking love her. And to have been able to have and Sadie gave her kisses. Sadie gave her kisses. And, to have been able to just have some one-on-one time and shake her hand and tell her just how influential she's been and how lovely she is as a person was absolutely, I was beaming.
You were such a fangirl.
I was a bit of a fangirl. I was. And I met David Naughton, who played
somebody's dad.
He's just somebody's granddad now. And
Who did he play?
He played David Kessler in American Werewolf in London.
Right.
He is, in fact, the star of my favorite horror movie. That was so cool, to just, the fact that he was there. Because he hasn't done a lot.
It was a strange array of people. Like,
it was a very interesting array. There were a lot of Jasons.
There were a lot of Jason Voorhees. You had the horror.
Yeah.
The you go around the room and there's the connecting theme of horror actors, Halloween-esque actors, you know, and then there's Bam Margera.
And then Bam Margera.
But he actually, I think part of the reason they got him is because he's working on another independent movie.
Yeah.
That, you know, he obviously made his wife the star of, that is zombie themed or something like that.
Cool.
I was listening to a podcast that were talking about that, but it's like, you know, I'm not a big horror buff.
No.
So it was, you saw me scrolling through Wikipedia just being like, all right, what else have these people done that I would know?
But that was really cool to have met David Naughton. Because it was just, I never would have imagined, because, I mean, the movie came out 40 years ago, you know?
70s or 80s?
80s.
Okay.
And I could not believe that. And it was just so excited, because I was just like, hey, look. And I was like, he's just somebody's granddad, and just such a cool, soft-spoken guy and everything. And, you know, got his autograph, got a picture, and was just able to say, you know, like, I appreciate you. And I told him that American Werewolf in London has been my litmus test for many years for people. I will show them that movie, men in particular, will show them that movie, and if they do not appreciate it, end of meeting.
I must have seen it at some point. Either you showed it to me or I saw it on TV once.
I showed it to you.
Yeah.
I definitely showed it to you. You know, and that was really exciting. And, you know, I mean, Naomi Grossman, beautiful little woman, wandering around. I see her, like, you know, sucking lunch off of her fingers, and I'm just like, hello. And she's just like, how are you doing? And she was just, and you, and
in my deep dive of her, I'm just like, oh, her alma mater is Northwestern University.
And
my brother went to Northwestern University.
She does not remember your brother
at all.
But it's been a while, so, you know, it's granted. I'll give
Mark
her
was
that.
like, oh yeah, I remember seeing her all the time. Tell her I said hi. And sure enough, they're friends on Facebook too.
Yeah. And Warrington Gillette, who played...
Tell them that story.
Warrington Gillette, for anyone who doesn't know, played Jason in Jason 2 for a brief moment. And he...
The first killing Jason, right?
Yes, the first killing Jason, because Jason was not the killer in Friday the 13th, Part 1, the original one. And he didn't have the hockey mask at that point and everything. So, you know, it was interesting. But I knew he was there. And this man is, I mean, he's tall, he's buff, and everything, and he's just wandering around and just comes up and on Saturday night and just makes a beeline for us and stops in front of the table, and I'm just like, hello. I'm like, it was so odd, because I'm just like, he just comes up, no security, no management or anything like that, just walks on up like he knew we were there, and just walks on up and asks, what do I have that's Jason-esque? And I'm thinking to myself, I have a brief flash in my mind that says, oh shit, nothing. And then I was like, wait, that's not true. I have a print, because I have the 3 prints that I did, these digital prints that I did of tattooed girls dressed like Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and Freddy Krueger. And I was like, ooh, I have this. And I'm like, it's not him, because it's got the hockey mask, because that's iconic. But I'm like, I have this. And he's like, oh, and how much do you normally charge for this? And I'm like, would you sign one? And he's like, will you give me a deal, right? And I was like, fucking take it, dude. I'm like, seriously. And then he inadvertently stole from me.
Yeah, also. The sticker packet. Yeah.
He took a pack of stickers with him, too, which were not free, but I don't fucking care.
I'm like,
Warrington Gillette is walking around this building right now with my artwork in his hand. That was fucking cool.
Your signature was on it, right?
My
J-Star?
My mark is on it, yes. But I was just like, I'm like, that was cool.
Because I'm a fly on the wall for this conversation. And
then you stood up and you mentioned that you have no idea who he is.
During the break
to his face.
In the dialogue, I was just like, I'm kind of oblivious to a lot of the people that are downstairs, but am I correct in assuming that you you were adjacent at some point.
He was. And what a nice guy. Seemed, very just sort of excited. He seemed really happy to just be there. Like, it was cool. And I love that. I love seeing that of people.
Well, because how many of those actors were in big, well-known things recently? Like, they're probably enjoying a little bit of anonymity at this point.
I mean, maybe. Probably a lot of them. I mean, Naomi Grossman is forever going to be known in this crowd for American Horror Story.
Right.
For no other reason is that the transformation that they did for her was gigantic. As far as her character goes and everything. So, you see her playing this part and everything, and then you see her in real life and it's like, holy shit, she's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck?
I told you, she reminded me a lot of Kristen Schaal because they look very similar.
Yeah. Well, her hair was curly this weekend. Yeah. But it kind of upset me to see that, there really were not a lot of crowds and not a lot of lines for a lot of these people. But I think it was so neat to have the opportunity. And I've always thought it was fun to have the opportunity to talk to people organically like that. And I've seen people, who really they sort of they turn on for the crowds. And it makes me wonder sometimes if to see something like that for me makes me think that if they're not being authentic, like they have to turn on, if they're not being authentic for their fans, and I don't mean to insult anybody, I don't mean this insulting at all. If they have to turn on for their fans, it does make me wonder sometimes and feel self-conscious a little bit, because I feel like to encounter them organically makes me feel like I'm bothering them.
Same.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
No.
It's like, if you are standing in line for something that they're being paid to do and everything, then it's like, you're not bothering them.
Yeah,
That's
they're working.
They're working.
Yeah.
But when you encounter someone organically in the wild, and it always makes me feel like I'm bothering them. Well, I've always been very reserved for stuff like that. But I've had a few moments in my life where I have truly been starstruck, I would say. And this weekend was one of them.
Like, I've always had it in my mind that I want to make it as easy going as possible for anybody that I've admired or respected. And not make it so that, like, I told you, like, I would just love to sit down at a diner over coffee with Bam and just shoot the shit about normal stuff. Like, I don't have to ask him questions about Jackass or whatever. But, like, how's Phoenix doing? Yeah. How are your parents? What's going on? Who won that fight between Chad and the singer from Alien Ant Farm? Like, what are you working on, right? He told me at the panel that he's been promoting or doing videos with this Puerto Rican guy who sounds a lot like him, and then, I'm glad he posted their links in his thing, because I couldn't remember exactly the name of it, but he tagged him in something that he posted, and I'm like, wow, those guys are really good.
I still have to message that guy. He is coming out with a documentary that was at the film festival.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, Humanity Stoked. And
he handed us the flyer.
He handed us a flyer, and he was asking, if I would consider doing a deck for the movie, and I'm just like, yes.
And there was such a varying array of people on that on that picture,
like from Tony Hawk to Neil deGrasse Tyson,
right? And
I'm just like, all right, but it's a humanitarian movement.
Yeah.
And and just reading into it and everything, I'm like, this is fucking beautiful. I absolutely want to be a part of this. And I do have to message him today, because I did come up with an idea that I wonder if he would be interested in. And he told me to just DM him on Instagram. And I'm just like, you're an award-winning documentary filmmaker. And you're just like, DM me on Instagram.
That was another surreal moment, because he handed us the thing, and it's essentially like the movie poster on a photograph, on a 3x5 photograph. And I'm just like, am I correct in assuming that you are
Michael Cohen?
Michael Cohen, yeah.
So that was super exciting. Now we've had encounters with celebrities outside of this weekend. I love your what is it Danny Filth? Your Danny Filth story.
Well, that was at a concert. Like that was.
But it still happened organically.
Yeah, he and
which is just
their
funny.
Keyboard player at the time were getting in the elevator to go up to their dressing room, and I had missed the meet and greet for that show, and I rushed in with this other guy who was also late for the meet and greet, and he was just like, "Danny, can we get a picture real quick?" He's like, "Well, no, I'm in a bit of an English hurry, but I'll see you later."
And to this day, you still don't know what that means.
Still don't know.
You still don't know what that means.
I'll have to get him another meet and greet to Cradle of Filth.
And I think one of my funny stories was when I was at this dive bar in Brooklyn to see the Falcon. And Dan Andriano, who is the bassist for the Falcon and for Alkaline Trio, who is my favorite, one of my favorite musicians. I love him.
The guy with the mustache.
Yes, the guy. Yes, now he has a mustache, and now I have a machine gun. But you talk about a dump. This place was a dump. The bar, if you will, was quite literally a folding table and a styrofoam cooler. That was the bar at this venue, okay? This is a dump. And it was packed. Capacity was probably 75 people, but we were in there like sardines. The stage is 8 inches tall. I'm standing right in front of it, and literally this man comes out, and I'm just like, oh my God, I've never actually, and I've seen him play before, but I'm like, I've never actually been this close. That's so cool. And he doesn't have a fucking stand for his bass, and while he's looking around for his cables, he just hands it to me, and he says, can you hold this, please? And I'm like, yeah? And I'm thinking this whole time, I'm like, don't fucking drop it. Do not drop this. I'm like, it's bigger than I am and probably costs more. So I'm just like, just don't fucking drop it. And when he was done getting himself together, he took it back and he said, thanks, babe. And I just went, all right, I'm done. I'm done. I'm like, that was fucking crazy to me. Oh. But like, I haven't had a lot of those moments. So when I do have them, I got a grin on my face. It is just always exciting to me to see people you don't think of as people being people. I mean, if that makes any sense at all.
The majority of my encounters have been with musicians, you know, usually at shows and whatnot. Like I'm trying to think back and remember all of them now. You know, it's there's no way I'm gonna remember all of them, but. Or even the good ones. It's just like, oh, what was like the best one? The most like unexpected one.
Yeah.
I remember, like, you know I don't like to smoke. Mm-hmm. Okay? But on the way to see him at a show in 2010, you know, I'd taken a couple of hits or whatever, and I was a little buzzed on the way in.
Yeah.
And, where was this? I want to say this was at the Irving Plaza or something like that.
Okay.
And 3 of the guys, including Villa, were standing in the lobby as I walked to the front door. And I didn't have the wherewithal to grab my camera out of my pocket.
Yeah.
But I just put my hand up to wave. Like, hi.
Yeah.
And Villa looked directly at me and did the live long and prosper.
Oh, I love it.
And then just disappeared.
Fucking love it. And it's just vanished. Yeah. Like smoke in the wind.
I was walking around Ozfest in 2007... And Shadows Fall, who I used to like a lot. Not that I don't like, I just don't listen to them very much anymore. But their singer, Brian Fair, was just walking. They weren't playing, and he was just walking around. And you can't miss him because he's the only person, you know, I know who has dreads that actually touch the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, are you just, you know, hanging out here to see the show? He's like, yeah. I was like, but you guys aren't playing? He's like, no. I was like, can I get a picture? And I still have that picture. And I'm just like, oh, man.
That's cool. And there is that time that you almost ran over Chris Maloney with a mail truck.
Yeah.
There was that.
I mean, I deliver his mail, so I run the gambit of seeing him every day. And, you know, always hearing that in the back of my mind.
I would love it if he hooked something up so that, like, that was his doorbell. Or that's the sound his mailbox makes every time you open it. That would be fucking hilarious to me.
You know? Maybe his voicemail is Connecticut. Oh,
man. I have had a lot of just like, Yeah, I've had a lot of just natural encounters. I think of one of my my first was when I think it was either 99 or 2000. I feel like it might have been 99. Radio 104 Fest at the Meadows when it was still the Meadows. And I was stuck wandering around the grounds trying to make it to the restroom, and I was stuck behind half of Fountains of Wayne. It's like being behind a slow driver. And I'm like, I'm not going to go around these people. I'm like, but I'm just like, I'm going to step on someone's heel soon. Like, I was literally like up against them and turned around and just sort of smiled. And I'm just like, that I think was probably my first celebrity encounter. And that was fun. And it was definitely fun for 15-year-old me.
I mean, we got to open for the Misfits twice. That was kind of cool, getting to have dinner with Jerry Only.
I think Jerry is a cool dude.
He is.
Yeah, Jerry's a cool dude. 100%. Jerry will hang out after a show and just so that everyone has the opportunity to like take a picture and see him and stuff like that. That was really cool.
I used to deliver Harvey Fierstein's mail.
Yeah.
That was a very odd encounter because when I met him, he didn't look like he normally does a movie. He was completely shaven, and I'm used to seeing him with a beard. And for those who don't know, he was the brother in Mrs. Doubtfire, Uncle Frank or Aunt Jack, one of those.
Among other things, yeah.
And I remember they had warned me before I left the office. They were just like, "Be careful, watch out for the gay guy." And I'm like, "The gay guy?
Watch out for the gay guy."
And I get to his house, and I still don't know who he is. And I pull in, I hand him the package that I have, and he's just like, "Oh, darling, you look parched. Would you like a water?" Said it just like that, and I get back and I'm like, "Did you deliver to the gay guy?" And I was like, "I delivered to a gay guy," and they're just like, "That was him." And I went and did my Wikipedia deep dive, and I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Who else? I've wondered sometimes, like, who could I encounter that would really like knock me for a loop? And I think RuPaul is up there. I'm still hopeful.
It's not gonna come to me until we're done recording,
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But there's just been, I think that I want to, it's one of those things that I want to be. I want to be one of those people that, like, someone is excited to meet.
I mean, I'm still trying to convince Argyle Goolsby to let me join one of his bands.
Well, he's got a new one.
Yeah.
He's got a new one now, so, your chances are only getting better.
Because, he was only as important to me as he was to you when I met him. Because
he's very important to me.
And then after getting to know him,
and now he's just people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just it, is that, like, I think that if I had been there when you met him, I would have been like, holy shit. Look at this random encounter. And now he's just people. He's just people and his awesome wife.
Except when he goes to Germany and he's, huge.
Well, yeah. Oh, man. But I think we're going to be basking in the glow of this weekend for quite some time.
I didn't just get to hang out with Bam once. I hung out with Bam several times. And another life goal is unlocked.
Yeah. It was good. I'd like to think that one of these days we'll be up there.
Here's the question: Who non-living anymore is somebody you would have liked to have had one of those encounters with?
Oh man, non-living at this point.
I mean, for me, it's definitely Lemmy. Like, even though I'd seen Motorhead, like I would have loved to just have a 5-minute talk with him.
I think for me, it would have been. Oh man. This is tough. Like, there are a bunch. I kind of want to say Merle Haggard. I would have dropped dead. I think I truly would have dropped dead. I mean, the entire backs of my thighs are a Merle Haggard tattoo. And I love him. And I think, like him, Ronnie Spector, I think I would have fangirled over very, very hard.
I wanted us to go to New York Comic Con back in the middle of October, but I couldn't get the time off. And plus, that's when the shingles started. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I glimpsed through the guest list, and the only one that really stood out to me was Austin St. John, because he was the original Red Power Ranger.
Yeah.
And made such an impact on me at 5 years old. And I'm just like, I appreciate more who this person is now as an adult, despite his, you know, allegations.
Do you still want to meet him?
I still would, yeah. Because I want to have a 5-minute conversation and be like, you know.
Did you meet JDF?
I never met JDF.
You never met JDF.
No, I always wanted to.
Yeah.
Never met him.
Yeah.
I've had Instagram conversations with David Yost.
You have, yes.
That's been kind of surreal. I've had Instagram conversations with Ian Ziering.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
That's really surreal. The fact that celebrities are responding to my messages on Instagram, and it's not just quick, you know, whatever. Like we're talking.
Ian Ziering sent you a video of him and his kids on like
bicycles.
Riding bikes. That was interesting. I'm like, Steve Sanders.
Because we were in the midst of watching 90210.
Nice to my husband.
And I just decided one night, I'm like, I'm going to text him and be like, Steve Sanders is a legend. And he responded.
Yeah. And he responded to that.
And he still answers my texts.
No, it's cool. I think that, you know, I would have died to meet Audrey Hepburn or Lucille Ball. Mary Tyler Moore is another one, you know, that
we could still meet Dick Van Dyke.
We could still meet Dick Van Dyke. We could still meet Mel Brooks.
Yep.
When Carl Reiner died, it threw me. I was very upset about that.
We could still meet the Meathead.
We could. He's still out there. Oh, man.
Love to meet Ron Howard.
I
would have loved to meet Paul Newman.
Yeah. That would have been good.
Paul Newman, Robert Redford,
Betty White. Yeah. We've lost a lot of really good ones.
All the oldies that, you know, probably much of our fan base doesn't know.
We've lost a lot of good ones, and but we still have who we have left, and we're cherishing every minute we have with them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what makes, you know, these encounters so special, is that, you know, because eventually we won't have that opportunity.
That's why I have to, you know, push through my nerves and be like, I'm not going to get this opportunity again. I have to tell them what their artistry has meant to me.
Yeah, and I don't usually do that. I really don't, but I did it this weekend.
Like, as an adult, I care way less about other people's opinions of thinking that my being a fan is silly and immature and whatever. And it's just like, fuck you. I appreciate the entertainment that these people have provided for me, and I want them to know as a human being that their efforts have meant so much to me.
Yeah. And again, you know, like I said all of that, and I don't do that normally. I really don't. I don't say, you know, like, oh my God, I love you. But I told Kathy and Jimmy, I said, I absolutely adore you. Your work, your whole body of work has been, you know, from you know, the famous shit to all of her voiceover acting, and not to mention her advocacy. It's like, you're a fucking icon. And I'm like, I love you. And I made her laugh because, and that was just, you know, the cherry on a cupcake, because I told her, you know, it was just her and me. And I told her, I was like, you know, I was so excited when they announced that you were going to be here this weekend, and my husband keeps asking me who you are.
And what did she say?
She had a tear in her eye. She was like, that's too funny. I need a minute. She's like, and I hope you called an attorney. It was hilarious. And I feel like I've worked with her road manager before. He seems like the type of dude who would have been a roadie on a tour that I was helping out on. I'm like, I feel like I know you, sir. Maybe in
a lot of those people.
I feel like
the security
we've met before.
people.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of photographers that were there looked like they had been at the last one we did.
Yeah.
A lot of models, a lot of other vendors.
Yep.
You know, I'm looking around the room. I'm like, oh, God, I know I've seen you somewhere before. You know.
And you know what? One of the coolest things that happened to me this weekend, though, honestly, not to toot my own horn, but there were people who came up to look at what we had, who had bought stuff from me 5 years ago, and they remembered having it. They're like, oh, we already have, you know, one of these. We actually have it hanging on our wall, and I'm like, fuck Yeah. Because that's like my in. Like, to know that I've made an impact on somebody. That's the coolest thing. That's the coolest thing. And I hope that the people who hear that they've had an impact on us feel that way. And I hope that they still feel after, 40, 50 years of doing this and everything, that, they still get touched. You know
who had the biggest impact on us this weekend? Who? Nathan's
had a very large impact on, yeah. We're hopefully not impacted too much by it, because...
It was the only thing to eat there.
I never want to eat a burger, ever again at this point. Cheese fries are just off the table.
I don't know. Those well-done bacon cheese fries were pretty good.
Yeah. It was good.
Oh, man.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Have you had a good time during this talk?
Yeah.
This was a good talk.
I mean, I could keep going. I could keep going.
I know, but we gotta get to our coffee and cartoons.
Yeah.
It's so rare that we have these days off together. And we're not working. Which is even better. Now I'm sort of I've spent the last 5 months spending every waking minute preparing for this weekend. What the fuck am I going to do with myself?
I've been saying it for weeks.
What am I going to do?
Till this is
what
over.
am I going to do with myself now?
Get my wife back. Now we can prepare for the holidays and decorate the house.
And sit.
Yeah.
And sit for a while.
And wait for the snow. And the Amazon to come in.
I'm ready. Bring it on. Well, this has been a good talk, and thank you out there in podcast land for listening to that talking podcast. We've had a blast, and, this is going straight to air after this, so there you go. Find us on social media, DT Andy and JJ Star with 2 R's. Woot woot. And thank you, Andy, for our theme song, The Guide.
Oh, thank you for all the work that you've put into our podcast, your art, every endeavor that we have. You work a lot harder than you get credit for.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because I do, which is why I'm having a hard time coming down from it and trying to figure out how to rest.
The post-tour
to rest.
The post-tour depression that bands always dread.
Yeah. It's not, and you know what? It's not even like a down. It's just sort of it's like static. It's like, what do I do?
It's a ride you wish would never come to an end.
It's like still buffering for me. It's like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? You can put that jigsaw puzzle together now.
You post this, you lay back, and put on TV.
Yeah.
And then we go do, important stuff.
Yes. All right. So... thank you again. And from the 3 of us at That Talking Podcast, I'm JJ Star.
I'm Downtown Andy.
We will talk to you later.